Sounds a little bit like heaven. So we wanted to do something new and different. We met, how long has it been? When did you first come into the shop?
Oh, it's been, I don't know, 4 or 5 months.
Feels like I've known you forever since then. So, this is Dave Tulo. Great client. Actually, really good friend now. He brought in an amp one day, saw the sign and said, "Hey, I saw the sign, you work on tube amps." And from there, it just started this amazing discussion every time you walked in the shop. I had no idea you have the background that you do on guitars and amps. So we came up with a great idea. We thought it'd just be fun to sit down. Occasionally you bring in a guitar, we talk about an amp, and just get to pick your brain a little bit. You've got so much knowledge. So that's kind of what we're gonna do in several series. He actually brought this Collins in for me to change the pickups out and just do some general cleaning, and we did a setup on it, and it seemed like a good place to start. So how did you get this? Like, where did this come from?
So I was looking at the reverb feed one day, and just from searches and different things that I've looked at, it kind of formulates maybe what you'd be interested in or whatever. And so I had actually purchased some Collins acoustics last year and just absolutely fell in love with them, and just amazing craftsmanship and tone. And so I'd always seen their electrics for sale, but really had no experience with them. So the day I bought this, I had no intention of buying a guitar. I wasn't looking for a guitar. It found me.
That's how it always works.
It really does. So what happened was the price was right. The guy had advertised it. I believe it's an '09. It was a little vague.
Okay.
And in order to get the serial number, you've actually got to take the pickup plate off, the electronics cover off in the back.
Yeah.
And I haven't done that yet, but
Okay.
I believe the guitar is around a 2009. It was owned by a guy in California. Played it a lot. You could tell he loved the guitar. The only thing that I felt like I wanted to do, and I'm just always chasing tone.
Right.
So I had bought these pickups online used. This is from a company called Tyson Tone. By the way, none of this video is paid for by any of these companies. I'm not a spokesman. I'm just a guy with a bunch of used guitars. But
That's a good point.
I chase tone. And so these are called Tyson Tone. This particular model is the Precious and Grace. He also has Deacons and Preachers, and if you look on YouTube, there's other guys making demos of guitars with those pickups in them.
Wow.
But I just thought that the sound was great on the demos that I heard, and so I bought them not knowing what guitar they'd ever go in, but I just bought them. And they've been sitting in my shelf for probably 6 months, and so finally a guitar came in. And not that there was anything wrong with the Lollers, but I have a lot of different guitars with Lollers, so
Right.
I'm trying to get something that I don't have, and so that's the reason for the pickup
Something a little different.
swap. But
I think this is interesting because my knowledge of Collins, especially since they're close by to Austin, I actually have a good friend that works there. I always thought of Collins as acoustic.
yeah,
And when you brought that in, I was like, oh, that's right, they
Yeah.
make electrics. This guitar as itself is an amazing guitar.
it's got a great feel to it.
The build quality is off the charts.
Yeah.
And then when you asked me to put the pickup switch, he does this a lot. You have a lot of boutique pickups.
I do.
It's so much fun
Yeah.
to change them out and to hear the different
Yeah.
tones that you're talking about.
Yep.
I was amazed when I put these in, just a little bit of playing. Can you play a little bit?
Sure.
And give us a little idea of tone?
Yeah, just
Amazing.
real clean sound. That's on the middle position, and these are not numbered on the tone and volume, so they're probably up about 7 or 8. They're not quite at full, but just got a real clean tone, and That's mostly what I play is just
Right.
little blues licks like that sort of thing. I'm not a shredder by any means, but the guitar just feels great. My son played it the other night. He fell in love with it,
Yeah.
and it's just a very high quality guitar. They're not cheap, but definitely the workmanship is there.
But they're not like on the used market. They're not any worse than Gibsons.
No,
from what
they're
I've
not.
seen. I
They're
mean,
not.
they're right in that same ballpark.
Yeah,
So for more of a boutique kind of brand, I
Yeah.
think they're right in there, and it's a great guitar. We might say what we're running through today.
Yep.
I've got a '79 Deluxe Reverb. Just classic Fender sound, right? We're going through channel 2, so we've got the reverb on. I don't know that it gets any cleaner than these old Fenders.
Nope.
All tube. It's just an amazing amp. We thought it'd be a good combination with this guitar, and I think it sounds crazy good.
yeah, it really does.
What does the bridge sound like on that? It's so defined, yet you don't have that ice pick shrill to it.
Yeah.
When you hit the lower notes, it's almost creamy. That's unusual for a bridge pickup.
Yeah.
Is there much difference when you go up to the neck?
Try the neck out.
Yeah. Let's see. Punchy. Wow.
And that's with the tone probably at about 8 or so.
Yeah. That sounds great.
But just very nice guitar. It's an alternative to a Gibson, and I've got plenty of Gibsons. Nothing against that, of course, but I would say the Collings, just from what the 3 used ones that I had purchased, which is kind of what led me to look at their electrics. The build quality on them is just second to none. I really, I've got a couple of other high-end acoustics and Santa Cruz and Bourgeois, and those are also amazing. But somehow I always seem to play the Collings the most. That's the ones I gravitate
back to.
Yeah. So
which says a lot, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna, work with this. I just got it, and of course you did what you did to it, and so I'll try to get used to it and everything. I haven't really played it very much yet, but we'll see. I don't know if this will become my next new favorite or what, but if nothing else, I certainly like the guitar, and just trying to get some idea of what sounds can be gotten out of these things. Yeah, with just the different pickups.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of the thing.
It's very cool. Well, like I said, we're going to do this a lot.
Okay.
You have some amazing guitars, and not to be outdone by the amps that you have. Wow, I couldn't believe the amount of amps and the different types and the boutiqueness of those amps. So I'm really excited to get those in here as well.
It's funny too, because when you play them, there are differences, and
absolutely.
If you're listening on a record, you may not know what you're listening to, but then when you have them in a room and you play them and then play the next one right after it, the next one right after that, you can really start hearing some of the differences about the subtle tones and things that you can get out of them.
It was quite an education for me when I sat down to have that many in the same room. To be able just to go from one to one to one, you can hear the difference.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Listen, thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you having me here.
You bet.
Thank you.